I'm sure you want to see this yourself. So let's have a look at the first chart. So if you were to go from this pivot low of 2010, it's the one that Steve likes to use. So there it is. So let's go from this low. Then you measure it to this level. That gives you this percentage, 328,801. Divided by 5.3, the multiple average ratio that Steve likes to use, that he's calculated, that gives you this ratio. This gives this percentage, 62,000. So 62,000%, guess what? The next rally, so he's saying that that would calculate the next rally percentage. And guess what? The next rally percentage.
With Bitcoin trying to get higher in 2023, much speculation is happening about whether it can break all-time highs soon. Some traders and experts we usually bring to the channel don't believe this is the rally that will take Bitcoin there, yet we found some great content explaining when it happens and what the price targets will be. And this is a fantastic prediction model based on the past behavior of this asset. Even though we know that we can't guarantee it will happen again, it seems likely. So to explain this, in this video, we will have Alessio Rastani, a famous trader with a YouTube channel with over 300,000 subscribers, alongside trader Charlie Burton. This is a superb Bitcoin price prediction model, so pay close attention until the end so you understand everything and know the price targets for the next bull run. First, a quick look at macro.
Last year was by far one of the most terrible periods for stock markets, bonds, Bitcoin, and crypto. Even real estate, which is supposed to be a safe asset, took a hit. The 60-40 stock bond portfolio completely failed in 2022. Not to mention rising inflation, which certainly did not help. To the average person, it certainly feels like the economy is going from bad to worse. Take this survey from MarketWatch, which revealed that more than half of Americans, which make 6 figures, are living paycheck to paycheck. That is both disturbing and astonishing. Even college-educated young people with high-paying jobs are struggling to do basic things like pay their rent and make car payments. Now, ask yourself this question. Do you think the rich and multimillionaires are only interested in assets like stocks and bonds? No. As we have said many times in this channel, it is important to be well diversified among asset classes. Proper diversification means taking into account assets which are not closely correlated to the other major assets. Such as what, I hear you asking? Well, for example, did you know that in the first 5 months of 2022, the average piece of art sold for 26% more at auction? According to the MW Index, contemporary art average annual appreciation is 13.8%. In fact, contemporary art prices have more than doubled the S&P 500's total return over the last 26 years. Now, of course, we know that past performance is not a guarantee of future results, but at least we know that there is an alternative to other assets when it comes to diversifying, and that is fine art. By the way, it's worth noting that according to an article by Citi, the broad art market exhibits low or flat correlation with other asset classes. Therefore, it could potentially improve diversification in the portfolio.
In his previous interview, Charlie said it wasn't likely for Bitcoin to reach new all-time highs in 2023. Anything changed?
All-time highs in Bitcoin this year is unlikely, or I think you mentioned something along the lines of you'll eat your hat if Bitcoin goes to all-time highs. Is that still your view, or are you going to prepare yourself to eat your hat? Because it's been a pretty powerful move. And by the way, there have been some comments. There were some comments from people who said, you know, Charlie, get ready to eat your hat this year. But I think you mentioned only if Bitcoin goes to all-time highs this year in 2023, then you will eat your hat. I mean, have you changed your mind on this? Are you getting scared, or what?
I haven't changed my mind. I'm not getting scared. I think we were talking about this in the autumn, maybe, or whenever it was. Yeah. It was a few months back now. And yeah, I mean, I've got a Stetson hat ready to chew away on if Bitcoin does go up to new highs. But it's not really what I'm looking for this year. Yeah. It's not that Bitcoin can't go to new highs this year or next year or whatever, but I think it's a lower probability that it goes there this year. So, but nevertheless, I'll sharpen my teeth. My hat is ready, and I'll be munching away on that. I'm sure we'll record it at the time if that happens.
Here's the new prediction model found by Steve Courtney from Crypto Crew University YouTube channel.
If you were to measure every bullish rally or bull market rally on Bitcoin in 2010, and you divide each segment, each bullish rally or bull market rally by the ratio of 5.3, Then you project that, whatever the result is, you project it the upside you project it higher, you get the target for the next bull market. Here we go from this pivot low of 2010. It's the one that Steve likes to use. So there it is. So let's go from this low. Then you measure it to this level. That gives you this percentage, 328,801. Divided by 5.3, the multiple average ratio that Steve likes to use, that he's calculated, that gives you this ratio. This gives this percentage, 62,000. So 62,000%. Guess what? The next rally, so he's saying that would calculate the next rally percentage. And guess what? The next rally percentage was that. From the lows of 2011 to the highs of 2013 or 14, that was 62,186, as you can see there. Now, if you measure that rally again, that particular bullish rally, that percentage, divided by 5.3, that gives you the rally for the next one. So as you can see, 11,733%, which, by the way, the next rally you saw on Bitcoin from 2015 to the year 2017 was 11,798%, as you can see. Okay, and guess what? You do the same thing, 11,790%. Just repeat the same pattern, rinse and repeat, as they say. Divided by 5.3, 2,226% is the projection for the next rally. There it is, from 2018 to the 2021 high. That was but 2,108% from this low to this high. Almost there. It's very close. Only 100%, only about 100% off, as you can see there. Now, let's apply this to the same from the lows of 2018 to the highs of 2021. That was 2,108%. 2,108% divided by 5.3, that gives you 400%, or 398%, which means the next rally in a bull market, if Bitcoin, that means if Bitcoin were to follow this pattern going forward, this is by no means a certainty, it's by no means a guarantee, okay? Bitcoin has still got a lot to prove to us. Bitcoin has still got a lot of work to do to prove to us that it wants to go and make all-time highs and a bull market rally. I do think we're going to see a bullish counter trend rally, though. I think we're going to see an uptrend, a multi-month uptrend in a bull market, potential bullish rally in Bitcoin. So I do think I am actually optimistic and bullish on Bitcoin as long as we stay above, let's say, 19K. But Bitcoin has still got a lot of work to do and to prove to us that it wants to go to all-time highs. That will take a lot more time, several more weeks and months before Bitcoin can show to us that it wants to go up to those levels. But let's just pretend that Bitcoin does make all-time highs, okay? So let's just go with me on this. The question is this: if Bitcoin makes all-time highs, assuming the stock market also makes all-time highs, so if the stock market makes all-time highs, and if Bitcoin also makes all-time highs, then where could Bitcoin go to, is the question. So according to this data, again, courtesy of the calculation from Steve Courtney of Crypto Crew, we've calculated 400% or 398%. So where does that take us? That means if this pattern repeats, take a look. If Bitcoin repeats this pattern, that could take us to a target of 77,121. You can see at the top right. All right. So 77,000 is the level we'll be looking at if this pattern repeats itself. But it's not over. I also like to use something called the golden ratio, the 61.8% golden ratio. If you were to apply the golden ratio to each rally on Bitcoin, okay, so each particular rally from 2010, okay, here, you project that 2010, 2011, projected by 61.8%, you get that golden ratio. You can see very close to the highs. And again, I'm just going to apply the 61.8% golden ratio, and you can see it comes very close to each target, to each level, as you can see there from this chart. And that means if you apply the golden ratio to the previous rally from 2018 to 2021 highs, that gives us a projection, as you can see, 104,000. There it is, 104,766, the golden ratio extension. What does that mean? Let's just go. If we combine both of them now, so if we combine Steve Courtney's 5.3 calculation with the golden ratio extension, that gives us, there it is, a potential target based on these two calculations. That gives us a potential calculation of 77,000 to 104K, okay, as a potential projection if Bitcoin makes all-time highs, or as a top side for Bitcoin.
Crazy right. This makes sense based on Bitcoin's history. Does Charlie agree with this?
I think there's two observations there. The percentage increases each time are getting lower. It started off at 60,000, then 11,000, then 2,000, and now 398% or whatever it was. So the stages, each stage is which is, That's normal within an asset, a newer asset class like this. That as the asset class matures, that the each leg, if you will, is not going to be 60,000 again %. You know, and so that's one observation. But the other one is that just because that's happened 4 times in the past doesn't mean to say it's going to happen again now. And so,
good point. Yeah,
we as human beings, we look back at patterns and we identify patterns when we're back testing a strategy or back testing some data, and then we extrapolate that and go forwards. That's fine, because that's what we do, but it's not a guarantee that it's gonna that's gonna happen again next time. So that, I think that would be my other observation. It's not that it won't or couldn't, but it's not a guarantee.
What can we expect next year?
I think if Bitcoin can get back into the 30,000 to 40,000 mark at some point, then that really starts to help build a proper platform. Then I think all the time we're below 30,000, then it's, you know, we're playing wait and see really. But we get north of 30,000 again. That's a key. That's a real key structurally. That's a really interesting level. So could it do it in 2024? Yeah. But I'm hoping that I don't have to eat the hat this year.
And to close in this fantastic video, Alessio also goes on about good news and bad news for Bitcoin.
The good news is, well, the good news is if Bitcoin makes all-time highs, and again, as I said before, Bitcoin has still got a lot of work to do, has to prove to us that it wants to go to all-time highs. We shall see in the next several weeks and months whether that's the plan that Bitcoin has. I still think that Bitcoin, I am bullish on Bitcoin. I still think this is a counter-trend bullish rally. In other words, I'm seeing, as I've been saying now for the last several weeks, I was expecting a bullish reversal, an uptrend on Bitcoin, and so far has been playing out correctly. So I'm still remaining bullish for this year in 2023. But here's the point. If Bitcoin does make all-time highs, let's say by next year, the bad news, well, the good news is that we could reach 100K. Again, 77,000 to 100K, 104K is potential. The range is 77 to 104K. Bad news is that those people who are speculating Bitcoin is going to go 200K, and you'll see a lot of those people saying that, I'm sure, in the next several months. You're going to see people say, oh, 200K, 150K. They're very likely wrong. So it looks like that region between 77K or 104K could be a cap, or the higher projection targets for Bitcoin. So it's less likely that perhaps Bitcoin is going to go to 150, 200, not in 200K. So I think it's less likely, not impossible, but a lot less likely.
What do you think? Can Bitcoin reach these levels on its next rally? Does this formula make sense to you? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks.